Hello, alumni and friends. My name is Kendall Lucas, and I serve as the Director of Alumni Relations here at PLNU. Thank you for joining us tonight for the 2022 Homecoming State of the University Address. We are joined by University President Dr. Bob Brower, Executive Director of Wellness and the University Counseling Center, Dr. Jen King, University Chaplain Esteban Trujillo, Associate Vice President of Enrollment and Retention, Dr. Scott Shoemaker, Vice Provost of Operations for Graduate and Professional Studies, Dr. Jamie Brownlee, and the Dean of the College of Health Sciences, Dr. Jeff Sullivan. Dr. Brower, thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thanks, Kendall, and welcome to Homecoming 22 and this virtual update. I do hope we'll have the opportunity to see you here on campus for Homecoming, and if you're connecting virtually, to have that opportunity to stay connected. I'm always grateful to see PLNU alums and to have time to catch up with you. And while I've certainly missed our in-person events recently, I am looking forward to our gatherings this week at Homecoming and the hope that soon we'll be together for more times of reunion and celebration. Today in the University Update, I'm going to be joined, as you know, by several of my colleagues, and I'm so grateful for their work. And they're going to provide some firsthand insights and updates to the work and progress that is occurring across the university. But I wanted to take just a few moments to remind us of this particular year because it commemorates, on July 28th, it commemorates our 120th anniversary of the university's founding. While we're going to mark this moment rather gently, we're already beginning for the preparations of a really great celebration at our 125th anniversary in 2027. And I hope you will all be a part of that. I think it's going to be a wonderful time of celebrating our work together and the progress in life of the university. If you've been around Point Loma even for a short period of time, I'm sure you're familiar with the story of Dr. Brzee and his courageous vision for a Christian university. During the centennial in 2002, one of the items that we discovered of that time, in addition to his Bible, was his vision for the university going forward. You might know that at that time, around 1910, when this vision was articulated, the university, it was then Nazarene University, was a small institution and was struggling to get its feet to really survive. There were competing forces, both inside the church and university and outside, that were drawing attentions away from the mission and purpose of the university. And yet in that context, Dr. Brzee was dreaming about the future. And his dream was articulated by a plan to have 3,000 students enrolled at the university in a multi-schooled, multi-disciplined institution. The remarkable thing about that time was there was only a handful of colleges and universities in America that had attained an enrollment of 3,000 students. So his dream was bold and big. And what we discovered was it took us until the centennial year when we hit that dream of 3,000 students. I've often wondered what Dr. Brzee would think today and what he might have imagined about what this moment would be in his dream for the future. If you also remember, it was out of that struggle where the promise from God came out of Isaiah 62, that God would protect and keep, that God would prosper and take care of his Zion, which Brzee interpreted as the university. While it hasn't been a smooth ride for the university across these 120 years, we've been threatened and challenged many times, but the truth of the matter is that God has been faithful and PLNU has been blessed. In all that we do and all that is yet to come, I want to encourage us to remember the faithfulness of God and his sustaining power and presence that has been lived out in our history and even to these moments. For me, the promise to Brazil and the many times that that promise has been renewed across the decades is an important reality that keeps reminding me of how we will come through even the struggles and challenges of the pandemic that we've been experiencing. During this time, PLNU has been face to face with challenges that included going viral. All of what we did went viral. It was a virtual environment for our students in classes, our work, and the setting of the campus. And everything we did had to be recreated just to keep students on track academically, to care for them in their spiritual nurture and development, and to be able to respond to the many disruptive actions that included health and politics, civil unrest, and even the violence of our communities that affected the university and its time and day across these last few years. Through all of these challenges, God has continued to be faithful. When I look at what could have happened with enrollment in 2020, I'm amazed that rather than the 10 to 15% reductions that many institutions were experiencing, Point Loma's enrollment only declined by 2%. And today, we have nearly 4,600 students in our undergraduate and graduate programs. It's a wonderful statement to the blessings of God and the resilience of this university. Now we operate at 5 campuses throughout San Diego and in Bakersfield. And just recently, we've been able to add our Balboa campus, where the new College of Health Sciences is now a part of the work of the university. And Dr. Sullivan's going to give us a good update on that soon, and I know you'll be interested to hear more. In that new center, our new Physician's Assistant Graduate Program has been launched as the first one in San Diego, and that's off to a great start, and we'll learn some more about that as well. This past year, we've had record giving from alumni and donors and friends of Point Loma that have made it possible for us to sustain the education and services of the university to our students, and that we have much to be grateful for. One of the things that I've noted in just what's happened is the creative solutions and innovations by faculty and staff to continue to provide high quality education for our students, to keep them on pace and on track. We've also had creative solutions like constructing outdoor classrooms on the ground level of the parking structure so that last spring's classes could be predominantly in a face-to-face setting. We've had flexible housing options, and we've provided new medical care and solutions that we didn't have at the beginning of the pandemic. We've had an incredible, reliable, timely, state-of-the-art testing program that has helped to keep the university safe and healthy throughout the pandemic. In short, when I look at these last 2 years, it's really a compression of our history and all of its challenges. Throughout our time, we've been faced with challenge and have responded with faith and creativity, and God has blessed and kept. He's given wisdom, and he's surrounded us with opportunities. And I'm so grateful for the sustaining presence of God in this place, even today. We really do have much to be thankful for. One of the aspects that makes PLNU so special is the talented people all around us. I've often said the ocean and its vast blueness is so wonderful to look at and engage with, but it's really the Point Loma people that make the difference, invest in lives, and really provide such an incredible opportunity for students. And I think as alumni, you have experienced that over the years. Well, one of the great opportunities we've had in this time that has helped Point Loma to be open and successful has been the work of our medical team. Dr. Jen King was already introduced, but she's going to provide an update on our Wellness and Counseling Center, because that's been a very intricate part of the success and care of the university in these days. So, Dr. King, thank you for the work that you do, for your leadership in providing for our community this sense of health and well-being. Give us an update on all that's going on and some of the impacts that you've encountered in these days.
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. I wanted to first just kind of introduce myself and give you just a brief history of who I am. I'm new to this position as the Executive Director of Wellness and Counseling, and I'm just really excited to be here. I'm also an alum of our master's program, and just like many of you and many of us on the screen here, I became hooked once I graduated in 2013, and just so committed to the mission of this university, and also just grateful to be blessed by the incredible talent that I'm surrounded by every day, not just the blue ocean, but the people that walk this campus and that work with us here. So I've been a nurse since 2001, primarily in the emergency room and the intensive care unit. I joined our faculty in 2015. And then when a pandemic hit and challenges came, we saw opportunity as a school of nursing, and I was able to be a part of that and lead us through COVID since the fall of 2020. That's a picture of our first day of vaccines when we finally got vaccines on campus so we could offer vaccinations. It was a very exciting day for us. Next slide, please. So a lot has happened, as you can imagine, in the last 2.5 years with COVID-19. We essentially were welcomed each semester with a new variant, just to make it a little more exciting for ourselves. But really, what this pandemic has done for us is allow us to see the great opportunity that we have in this time of challenge. And we've been able to restructure our wellness team. We went from a team of 3 people working in wellness with 3 counselors and an administrative assistant to now we have 8 nurses. We have externs who are senior nurses working with us in the wellness center every day. We've provided clinical hours, over 40,000 clinical hours that we've provided over the last 2.5 years to our nursing students so they can still seek their board certifications during a time when many students were not able to go to their clinical placements during this pandemic when hospitals just shut everyone out. We were able to rise to the occasion and provide clinical opportunities for our students. We've started to provide clinical opportunities also for our PA students. We hope to do the same for our counseling students as well. And so it's just been an incredible time of growth and adapting to the environment. We started our own in-house testing lab, which has really been the success of our COVID response, to where we can provide PCR testing to all of our students on campus, as well as our staff and faculty. And those tests we can turn around in less than 24 hours, which is really essential when it comes to quickly identifying cases, placing students and staff in isolation, and conducting contact tracing, which we do all in-house. We've essentially become a mini public health center here at the university, run by not only highly qualified staff, but involving students across campus, including pre-health students, biology students, kinesiology students. It's just been an incredible collaboration across our campus. We've been able to offer vaccinations on campus and become a partner with the state of California, as well as San Diego County Public Health. We developed our own in-house software system and had, again, great, brilliant graduates and alums of PLNU who were able to create a software solution that has suited us from testing to health records to compliance, and has really become a really steadfast position for us to be able to continue to move through this pandemic seamlessly and continue to have students on campus, which is really our goal of all the work that we've been doing. We opened an urgent care. So we went again from a tiny little wellness center with only one exam room to where we now have an urgent care space where we can see 40 to 60 patients per day. So it's pretty incredible. We've collaborated with Residential Life and again have become, we went from this little wellness center and myself coming from School of Nursing all the way over on Liberty Station campus to where now we are partners across the university. So that's really been this true community effort to come together. We have a C19 task force, which represents, again, departments across the university and different levels of the university, so we can all work together. We provide testing solutions and care to all of our regional campuses, including Bakersfield. And I think the real difference that I see in our ability to face this pandemic is transparency. We've really been able to communicate exactly what we're doing, why we're doing it, provide rationale to our staff, faculty, to our students, and have it be, we're all in this together. And just understanding, and I sit on a lot of meetings with other universities and as well as the County of San Diego. And I think it's truly that community that we share and that the true, honest conversations that we have that have allowed us to do this. And we've really come together so that we can be face-to-face. And we have been the most face-to-face university in San Diego since 2020. We have had an incredible need for mental health, as you can imagine, during this time. It's not new, but it's certainly been exacerbated by the pandemic. So we have adopted a 24/7 care hotline called Timely MD, which is available to all of our undergraduate students. The usage of that tool has really increased over the last several months. And that does provide something called Talk Now counseling to our students. Also virtual counseling sessions that they can access online from wherever they are, in addition to the services that we provide here on campus. So we've really been able to augment those services as well. And it's just been really exciting to be a part of all this growth during a time where you would think, all we would be doing is trying to struggle to keep our heads above water, but we've just been swimming all together in this great blue ocean. Next slide, please. This is just a quick highlight of our statistics. This is from yesterday. And so just understanding what the positivity looks like on this campus, you can see at the bottom left screen, the new positive cases that per day have really leveled off over the last week. In San Diego County, the current positivity rate leans between 15 and 17% this week, and we are under 1%. We're at 0.9%, which is really incredible for our TUG students. And overall, we have been under 5% over the last 3 weeks. Again, incredible considering that our community positivity is 30%. And in the past, we had really mirrored community positivity, but because of our really swift efforts to test, to isolate, to contact trace, and be able to just be in close communication with our students, we've had an incredible response. Next slide. So, that one's not mine, but that's okay. My next slide was just going to be to say that we're more than a pandemic here in wellness, and we are here to, we're envisioning a brighter future for wellness, and we would love to see expansion of our services, expansion of our mental health services, more health education come out. And so we're ready to move past this pandemic and just be able to serve our community better. And I will just tell you that everyone in this office is committed to doing that, and we're excited. So thanks for being here, and we look forward to seeing you at homecoming.
Dr. King, just a quick question. We've often heard about the Point Loma bubble. Tell us why that's a good thing right now in terms of our medical care and what we've been doing to maintain health.
Yeah, so the bubble just means that we've kind of created this little artificial bubble where we, I don't want to use the word control, but where we have great influence over the behaviors, because we know that there's a very big biopsychosocial behavior aspect of spreading COVID. And so just by engaging students, I think, and staff, and having everyone understand why it's important to mask, why it's important to be vaccinated, boosted, or to be tested if you're unvaccinated, and getting that it's more than just compliance, it's really respecting your fellow community member. And so I think that we've been able to really influence that in a way that has allowed us to maintain this nice little bubble. And I won't complain because it feels good. And I think that we all understand that that's why we get to be here face to face.
Yeah, good. Seeing that very low positivity rate is so encouraging because it means the community can continue in person and thrive and our educational efforts go on. So thanks for all your work. And I know just hundreds of people and all involved in this team of keeping testing going and the medical care. So thanks very much for all you do, Dr. King. Really appreciate you. Let me transition to just a different look at what's going on around the university. This past fall, we began a new approach to serving our students in a collaborative, coordinated, unified way in the creation of the Office of Student Life and Formation. I invited Dr. Mary Paul, who had been the Vice President for Spiritual Development, to step in and create this new effort of student life and formation. The comprehensive approach I'm very excited about, and we've been developing and beginning to see the benefits of that for our students and how we care for them. And today, as you know, Reverend Esteban Trujillo is with us. He serves as the university chaplain, but is in the Office of Student Life and Formation. And so, Esteban, give us an update about that new format and organization, and also some of your insights around chapel and how we've continued to innovate in this time for our students and our times of worship together.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Brower. It's been, a great season for us in this new combined office model that we have, where the previous offices of student development and spiritual development merged as one department under the Office of Student Life Formation. And so it has been a great season for us. It also has been a place of transition, as there was literally a wall between both of our offices. That wall is now gone. And now we serve as one department. And so in the reorganization of this department, we have various areas of programming. So residential life, student care and engagement, study abroad, and LoveWorks, the Wellness Center, which does our counseling and wellness, as well as campus ministry and chapel programming. And so this model has really kind of helped us have more overlap and collaboration within our programs. Particularly, it's created spaces for our students to serve and learn alongside one another. And so in the next slide, we can kind of see some places of collaboration that weren't there in the past and have now been very solidified because of this merger. One of them has been the Student Leader Retreat. For many years, various different lead focus groups were holding their own retreats, doing their own training for their student leaders. But this fall, we decided to do a combined student leader retreat, which was a very, very wonderful time for our students to not only see the other student leaders in various areas, but really to grow with one another, to have this sense of collegiality and a sense of team within all of our student leaders. And so that was a really, really great time that kind of offered us just a vision of what it means to be a unified office and serve alongside one another. The other one was the Living Spaces Chapel, which has been a new model that we've been incorporating every so often in our chapel schedule. And this allows students to meet for gathering for chapel in each of the residential living areas. And so all of our staff from the Student Life Formation office participate. They offer leadership, and students from each of the dorms offer to volunteer in leading in music, offering their faith stories. And so simultaneously, we have chapel services happening all over campus. And it's proved to be one of our favorite chapels that students have been really involved in to just be able to gather together in their dorm spaces and in their residential spaces. The last one will be just happened this past Monday, which is our student leader info night. This is the first time that we've actually gathered every student who is interested in becoming a student leader, and to hear about all of the various opportunities within the Student Life Information Office, to be able to kind of see what areas of ministry that they want to serve in for next year. And so these are areas of worship arts and chapel and discipleship groups, alpha groups, which are small groups for our freshmen, community ministries, RAs, all of these different areas, Team Barnabas and Mosaic. And so it was really, really a great time for our students to see a really unified effort and really hear the heart of our office, that we really want our students to engage and to serve and use their gifts on campus. And so that was a really, really great time. And then finally, on the last slide, want to talk through some chapel updates. And so chapel being the largest gathering on campus, when Brown Chapel is at its capacity, it's at 1,800. And so one of the things that we have needed to do during this pandemic season is really adapt to through all of the different changes, with the wise counsel of our health team, to really kind of discern what are the best ways to offer chapel. This year, we've been grateful to have probably the majority of the year in person, which has been such a great change for us. Looking at last year, doing a lot of virtual chapels and online chapels. And so we've done so many different things, from a 2-service model to shortened services, to having some moments of mask wearing breaks and having services in the Greek amphitheater, to having masked preaching and worship leaders also in mass. And then just a recent change this semester with having our preachers and worship leaders without masks. And so really trying to navigate the season well in a way that is safe, but also just offers really great spaces for our students to engage in their spiritual formation and in worship and corporate worship together. And then lastly, Renewal Week, which happened last week. It was such a beautiful time. We had Pastor Gabriel Salguero, who's been a past Renewal Week speaker for us, and he did such a phenomenal time. A great time of leading us in God's word, and really powerful message. Our students responded so well to him. But one of the other things that I want to highlight is that we've had students gathering in 6:30 a.m. morning prayer times, which for a college student, is very hard. For me as post-college at 40 years old, it's hard for me too. But to be able to just gather together and see 100 students gathering together in prayer and worship at 6:30 a.m. was such a blessing. And to see the ways that God was really opening hearts during Renewal Week, and also seeing the continual growth of our students beyond that time. And then also the extended opportunities that we've had for chapel engagement and credit. Over Renewal Week, we offer not only our 4 main chapels for credit, but we also offer 11 opportunities to gain and receive chapel credit. So it was a really beautiful time, a really beautiful spirit, and grateful for the ways that our students were really responding in such positive ways, and the Holy Spirit really moving during that time. So it's been a pleasure for me as an alum to see how chapel has been a great place for students to engage. It certainly changed my life, and it's such an honor for me to be able to walk with our students in their spiritual formation. So thank you.
Good, thanks, Esteban. I wanted to ask you just a question. You mentioned Renewal Week, and so glad that you did. We've been doing this for a while, but it's more than a routine. Why do we do Renewal Week, and what's it mean to our university community?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we explain particularly in chapel as we prepare for Renewal Week, is that we can't really choose the time or the place to be renewed, but we can choose an openness of heart and positioning ourselves to really hear more from what God has to offer us. And so this week is about intentionality. And so this is a whole community effort where staff and faculty, where offices close during chapel hours, and we really engage in a time of just wanting to listen more closely to the heart of God and to respond in that way. So it's been such a beautiful experience over the years to be part of Renewal Weeks, and also to be part of the creative ways of engaging and making this week special and unique.
Yeah, good. Thanks for your ministry and your leadership. And I understand maybe next week there's going to be a special little event for you. Tell us about what's going on with you personally next week.
Well, next week, I'm hoping to get to the final stages of turning in my final version of my dissertation and moving towards the defense. And so I've been part of the DMIN program in discipleship and spiritual formation at Nazarene Theological Seminary these past 3 years. I was not expecting to do it during COVID, but it has been, if I can finish a doctorate during COVID, I could do many more things. And
That's
so just grateful that we're moving to a season of finishing this season in our lives. So yeah, well, and I say our lives because our family is also going through this as well. It
is an investment. I know you'll do very well in your defense, and for all of us who have done a doctoral defense, there's just nothing quite like it, and I know you're going to just really enjoy it. So
thank you.
Congratulations in advance, and we'll celebrate with you for sure.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Esteban. Well, let me transition to again a critically important part of the university's work and life. Many of you may know Dr. Scott Shoemaker. He leads our undergraduate admissions team. And the work to bring in students to the university is not just important, but it is the purpose for why we exist in our education and preparation for students. These are changing and challenging days in recruiting students. And I've asked Scott to give us some updates regarding the admissions and recruitment process and the work that is ongoing as we draw undergraduate students into Point Loma. So Scott, welcome. I'll turn it over to you and look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Brower. Hello, friends. It's great to share a bit about the university community from my seat here at Point Loma. Many of you may be wondering about just the composition and culture of our student body today. And so I'm going to give you some nuggets to ponder. I've prepared 5 things that you need to know about Point Loma students. First, they're highly prepared. More than half of our students today come with advanced standing into the university, which means they've taken community college courses in high school or advanced placement or international baccalaureate courses and achieved a certain exam score to get college credit. And their average GPA, given that weighted 4.0 scale, is 3.98. Only about 10% of our students enroll at Point Loma below a 3.4 GPA in these days. Nearly all of them graduate in the top half of their high school class, and more than 2 out of 3 are graduating in the top quarter of the high school class. So it's a well-prepared group for the environment they're coming into. They're also more diverse, both ethnically and geographically. 30% of our first-year students come from outside California, and less than 25% are in our home county here of San Diego. 40% are ethnically diverse, and nearly 25% coming from a Hispanic or Latinx ethnic background. Fewer high school graduates, and these dramatic shifts in underlying demographics that we're experiencing here in the United States continue to necessitate, kind of a wider scope for recruitment activity. They're also less churched, okay? And lest you get nervous about the commitment of your alma mater, PLNU's commitment to a Christian distinctive in higher education has not wavered. However, since 2012, Christian church attendance, what we would call regular attendance, has declined by about a third. So it used to be stable at like 42 or 43% for about a decade. And then after 2012 has fallen to 32% and now really about 29%, particularly among the Gen X group, which makes up our Point Loma parents, today's college students. Scholars and social researchers have a name for this. It's called the rise of the nuns, not N-U-N-S, but N-O-N-E-S. So we have fewer of our total student body that are coming from the Church of the Nazarene or really any denominational affiliation. The most common church affiliation now recorded is non-denominational among the student body. And many have attended multiple churches, youth groups, and even parachurch ministries like Young Life to get their spiritual sustenance. And so they don't have deep roots necessarily anywhere. So let me be clear, students are interested in the things of faith and desire to be people of character and substance, but they don't have some of the denominational foundations and theological understandings of past generations. Fourthly, they're also career sensitive, strongly connected to market ideas about major and career. In fact, about 60% of our entering class every year declare a business, biology and or chemistry, kinesiology, nursing or psychology major at the point of entry. Now, some of those will make some shifts along the way, ultimately, but most stay pretty close to their initial interest. Now, humanities and arts programs and other social sciences are still very popular, particularly as majors of discovery, as students discern where their passion and their aptitudes intersect. So lastly, they're completion-minded. More than 85% of our students after their first year typically return for their second year. And over 3/4 now staying through graduation, earning their bachelor's degree. We have goals beyond that. We would love to retain over 90% of our students after their first year to their second year, and we would love to graduate at least 80% of them. That's our responsibility. That's what we're here to do. Outcomes data is very strong for PLNU graduates, whether we're measuring job placement, initial job placement, or graduate school acceptance and attendance, or even particular professional licensure exam pass rates. Our students are marketable. They have skills that the marketplace desires. And so that's a little glimpse of today's student body among those 2,700 traditional undergraduate students. Dr. Brower.
Thanks, Scott. Maybe just a couple of comments. What would you suggest to alumni that could help in identifying and connecting students that they may know to the university?
Yeah, great question. Well, as you know, I mean, everything is done electronically these days, and we have a very robust website. We have a strong web presence and a lot of interactive ways to gain information and seek out information from the university. And so if you have kids or grandkids or neighbors or friends, nephews and nieces, they probably are much more attuned to the social media opportunities than you are, and that's okay. But there's many, many ways to engage with us. But certainly, I always welcome the opportunity to engage with you. And so if you have a person in your life who's interested in Christian college education, might be the right kind of student for Point Loma, I'd love to talk with you about it. So our staff is available through, again, our web pages, but also you can contact us at the university and just ask to speak with me. I'm always I count it a privilege to just engage with you, particularly as alums.
Yeah,
so reach
good.
out.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I think that's important. And certainly we have wonderful legacies of multiple generations of families here. So thanks for all the work you do. One of the other exciting areas of the university is expressed in our graduate and professional studies area. A number of years ago, we made an intentional commitment to grow our graduate programs to serve adult students across our community and even virtually, because we really believe that these students also should have the opportunity for a Christian university education. And so we've partnered across the community, and we have been involved with many different groups to extend and provide these educational opportunities. Dr. Jamie Brownlee has brought incredible expertise and leadership as she helps us in building the enrollment for our graduate and professional study programs, linking with students in the community and really throughout the country in a virtual way, and providing opportunities for these very strong programs. Dr. Brownlee, welcome to this time. I'd love to hear your presentation and share about graduate and professional studies and all that's going on in those programs. So please introduce us to this area.
Thank you, Dr. Brower. I have the honor of working with our graduate and professional studies programs and our staff and faculty that serve these populations. You heard Dr. Brower earlier say 5 campuses, and you see on my slide 11. So let me clarify. We do have 5 campuses, but we also have some phenomenal partnerships with the community colleges in San Diego, and we have 6 campuses where we have an office with a staff member that meets regularly with students, and we are able to use their classroom to hold our courses. And so I look and say we have 11 campuses because of these great partnerships with the community colleges. Right now, we offer 7 adult undergraduate degree programs and 13 graduate programs. If you broke down School of Education, you could probably say we have more graduate programs. But if we're looking specifically at a degree seeking a master's level and not looking at certificates or credentialing, we are saying 13. These numbers are growing. We're looking to say what is next. I'm excited for you to hear from Dr. Sullivan in just a moment, because his area in health sciences is one of our areas of expansion. One thing that not everybody knows about the graduate and professional studies is that we are actually 49% of the student population at Point Loma. If you look in a snapshot, then definitely the traditional is much larger, but we have for many of our programs 6 entry points, which means they come in and can start classes 6 times a year. So if you look at all of those entry points together, we are about 49% of the annual enrollment of Point Loma overall. That's an exciting number because we don't always talk about our graduate and professional studies programs, and yet it is the number that is growing. You're seeing those campuses, and it's just an exciting part of the campus to be at that I just love engaging in. I could go on forever with my passion. Just a few things about our programs that you may not know. So 52% of our students are actually under the age of 29. So we use this language of adult quite a bit, and that language is starting to get really blurred because more and more students are looking for different modalities and different degree options than the traditional. And that's why it's so great that Point Loma offers a variety of modalities to students and how they want to receive their degree. So we do see about 52% under the age of 29. We have a thriving military population. About 10% of our graduate students are military related students, and about 16 of our adult undergraduate programs are military related students. And I will add in here, because Scott did, so I love that he added the ethnically diverse background for our adult undergraduate. It's about 70%. So we're really reaching a diverse population in our adult undergraduate studies. So exciting to see. And then in terms of growth for the future, we are and hopefully Dr. Brower talks about this, planting that seed, is that we're looking to grow this population. It is on the rise nationally in terms of those that are seeking a bachelor's or master's or doctorate level degree in education. And Dr. Brower has said, let's do it. Let's get into this world and have impact in a different type of audience. We, in the last 6 months, have launched 4 fully online programs, meaning someone can come in with 0 units and complete a full degree online with Point Loma. That's new. That was not the case 6 months ago. So we launched our first one in fall. We launched 3 more in spring, and we have another one on the horizon for the fall coming forward. So there's a lot of opportunity moving forward in terms of our adult undergraduate and the modality and online. And we also have a lot of opportunity coming in our graduate programs. Again, specifically in health sciences, there is a need, and Point Loma is just ripe and ready to meet the need of the professions out there. So exciting things happening in graduate professional studies. Dr. Brower, back to you.
Thanks, Jamie. Let me just ask a quick question. These students that come into our graduate and professional studies programs have lots of options. And I've heard you articulate this, but just maybe to share, why do they choose Point Loma?
Why do they choose Point Loma? Well, I could go on and on for fun. They choose it for different reasons than a traditional student may choose it. So there are students that come and say, hey, I want the faith-based background. There are the students that come and say, you know what, I love the student faculty ratio and the fact that I'm going to really engage with faculty that become mentors in our programs. We really focus on career services. We have a great partnership with career services, and for the adult student, that is number one, really, in choosing their program of how do I advance my degree or how do I change my degree? I want that promotion, can't get it without this degree. And so we've really collaborated, I would say, heavily with career services to make the content of our courses, of our programs, career ready, career relevant. I spoke with a student actually earlier this week that said, hey, I learned something in a class on Monday night, and on Tuesday I applied it on the job. And that is the type of learning that we have to provide. And we have just phenomenal faculty get that. And so I think that's a key aspect, but they know the Point Loma brand. There's awareness in San Diego about who we are and what we offer. And even, again, I'm jumping into Dr. Sullivan's, but like there's a service component. Like we haven't taken away who we are as Point Loma, even in this market. We recognize the faith is just as much a part of who we are. The service component is just as much as part of who we are. We've just figured out how does that look in the adult market, and students recognize that.
Thanks. One of the things I love about our program and our commitment is we have graduate chaplains, and our faculty are as engaged in the aspects of faith and learning as they are in the traditional program. And it really is an asset that we provide out of who we are and our mission. And thanks for what you do to help make that possible, and all the teams that you work with. It's really an exciting part, not just of what we're doing today, but as you mentioned, the future. And we continue to look for great things there. So thanks much, Jamie. Appreciate all that you're doing.
Thank you.
Let me turn to Dr. Jeff Sullivan. We have mentioned him in a number of times already, but Dr. Sullivan is the new dean of the newly established College of Health Sciences. And while Dr. Sullivan has been at the university for a number of years, this new structure and organization is providing us with some exciting opportunities to serve our students, not only at the undergrad level, but particularly in these new days of serving at the graduate level. And Dr. Sullivan's faculty and staff have relocated to our brand new Balboa Regional Campus. It's a 70,000 square foot facility. And if you're familiar with San Diego, it's right off of the 163 and Balboa Avenue in a really good corporate center area there. And this new centerpiece of the program, as I mentioned, is the new master's degree in physician's assistant. So Dr. Sullivan, please give us some insights, perhaps to not only the Balboa campus, but the health sciences work that's going on and all of the efforts now, and maybe a little look at the future. So Dr. Sullivan, please.
Great. Thanks, Dr. Brower. Yeah, I'm incredibly excited to be with you, everyone, and to share with you not only we now call home. We were established as a college July 1st, so 7 short months ago, and we've been busy creating programs. And so you're going to learn about those in just a minute. But I'd like to be quick to say that really our entire goal and our mission is to create multidisciplinary programs, academic programs that really merge health, fitness, and wellness with medicine and therapy in these beautiful ways. And so our goal is then to transform our students and then send them out into those spaces to serve our community, really as an expression of their faith, which is highly missional to us. And we're really excited about that. So next slide, let me share with you, as I said, we've been busy. These are the programs we've been building the last 6 years. If my voice starts to pick up a little bit, it means that I'm really excited, because I am, to share these programs with you. The Master's of Science in Kinesiology was designed in 2016. That was sort of our entree into graduate programs. And then quickly after that, we added on, and as Jamie was saying, we have completely online programs. So Integrative Wellness was one of those programs that we added completely online to prepare health and wellness coaches. And then in 2017, that same year, we launched a Master's of Arts in Clinical Counseling. This prepares marriage and family therapists and licensed professional counselors. And then in 2018, we initiated the Master's of Science in Athletic Training. And then we really swung for the fences, as Dr. Brower alluded to, and became the first program in San Diego. It's a Master's of Science in Medicine and Physician Assistant Education. It's a 28-month condensed medical school program for highly qualified students, the best in the country. And so what do we have planned for the future? As if these programs weren't keeping us busy enough. We are going to build, I'm right in the process of working with a program director to build a Master's of Science in Occupational Therapy. That's coming on board in 2 short falls, fall of 2023. Just to keep in mind for all of our alumni, obviously, you know, these programs come out of and emanate from just rich undergraduate programs. In health sciences. That's kinesiology, that's nursing, that's psychology. And so leveraging that strength, how can we expand Point Loma's impact into the graduate realm? That's really been our focus. And so here is our beautiful new state-of-the-art home for our new programs. And this is Point Loma's newest campus, as Dr. Brower said, and it's truly state-of-the-art. We view this campus as the launching pad to produce those exceptional Point Loma alumni that then go out and impact their patients, their clients, not only in San Diego, but through the region and abroad. So we're super excited about that. Let me give you a peek into the campus. I could go on for an hour here, but I just want to show you 3 sort of key components. We've got clinical skills laboratories and simulation spaces that are really designed in much the same way that the Liberty Station campus is for nursing, to give students those real virtual patient interactions, not virtual, but simulated patient interactions. And then just a truly state-of-the-art Center for Human Performance, where last week we were training a professional soccer team, for instance, but that's a learning laboratory for our students then to interact with elite athletes in a human performance capacity. Next slide, please. This is my wonderful team that I get to do all of this with. I just wanted you to see their faces. Actually, if you'd like to reach out to us, we would love to talk to you. Maybe as I'm talking, you think about this has spurred some ideas for partnership. We fully welcome all of that. These are the folks you can talk with as we move forward, but without a doubt, my greatest joy is to work with these folks. to teach and shape over 500 students in the college. And so lastly, please come visit us if you can. As alumni, you know that Point Loma is an incredible place, and we fully intend to spread the word by sending out more incredible alumni. So please join us. On the bottom right corner there, you can watch a YouTube video if you want to know more about the Balboa campus. And I'm excited to share more with you as you reach out. Thanks.
Thanks, Dr. Sullivan. Just maybe a quick question. The development of the physician's assistant program was a 5-year process. So these aren't easy to begin. And with the establishment of that, it certainly speaks to the quality of Point Loma. And tell us just a little bit about the demand from students to get into the program and what that looks like going forward.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was a huge effort. I think Dr. King would be able to relate exactly, not only building a didactic program, but reaching out into the community for those clinical spots. So all of that has been very rich and rewarding. Yeah, these are the best and brightest students in the country. So we've got 30 seats in the PA program. And I think what you're alluding to is we had over 3,000 applicants for those positions. So it was less than a 2%, about a 1.5% acceptance rate. And so I guess the true benefit of that is these are the best of the best. They're wonderful students and incredible people to work with. And we're excited for the opportunities that they'll give Point Loma as they go out and serve the community and their patients.
Yeah, good. And so critical to the success of all of your programs are those clinical partnerships. And who across the community does the College of Health Science partner with in those clinical settings?
So for 30 students, we need 240 of those spots. And so the major hospitals in San Diego, we've partnered with all of them. But then in addition to that, there's this rich network of community care clinics that we've reached out to. And this really helps Point Loma live out our mission to serve patients from marginalized, underrepresented communities. So we've got 2 networks, each of 10 to 12 clinics there. That's sort of the backbone, the hospitals and those care clinics.
Yeah, it's an incredible partnership that we enjoy. Well, thanks for all the work. And really, we do want to invite alums to come out, take a look at the building or look at the YouTube video. It is a wonderful resource and just an exciting time. And I also have to note that all of that purchase and development and renovation occurred in the time of COVID. So when things were looking like they were falling apart in a lot of places, the university stepped out really in faith and confidence that this was the right thing to do. And you have proven that with your teams to be very true. So thanks, Dr. Sullivan. Appreciate your introduction and overview today.
Thank you.
I did want to remind us of an upcoming part of homecoming. There are going to be some Loma talks that will happen, and those talks are going to be noted by the pointloma.edu and a /alumni YouTube site. So please avail yourself of those. Those have always proven to be interesting and popular. So feel free to take a look at those as well. I do want to thank each of our guests today for helping to provide an update about the university and our continuing work to fulfill our mission with students as a university in the context of a vital Christian community. I hope this week of homecoming is enjoyable for you. Hope you have a great time to see friends and renew acquaintances. And for the first time in a couple of years, to be on campus for homecoming. So welcome, look forward to seeing you. And I'm going to turn this back to Kendall now for our wrap up. Kendall, thanks for your leadership and for all that you have done to prepare our time for a homecoming celebration. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Dr. Brower, and thanks to each of our panelists this evening for sharing your specific areas with us. As Dr. Brower mentioned earlier, it is such a joy to get to work with people who are passionate about the work that they do and are investing not only in the work that they're doing, but the students they get to interact with on a daily basis. So thank you to each of you. We invite you to visit pointloma.edu/homecoming to look at the rest of the events for the weekend. We are so excited to have you back on campus. We have one more virtual event tomorrow morning. We invite you to join us at 9:45 for Homecoming Chapel, where we will be recognizing our Rising Alumni Student Awardees and hearing from one of our Spotlight awardees as well. So we hope you see you tomorrow online at 9:45 and then in person Friday evening. Thanks again for being with us. Have a great night.